Victoria today. A warm day with light to moderate southeasterly winds, afternoon coastal sea breezes, fire danger is high in the north, moderate elsewhere. Northern parts of the state getting up into the low to mid-30s, and in the south temperatures sort of in the low to mid-20s expected. Pretty warm weekend coming up, and then some very hot weather for the start of next week. We will catch up with the Weather Bureau after the news at 7:30, which is coming up very shortly. Jeremy Lee with you on ABC Radio on this Friday morning. This month, it is 10 years since the central Victorian town of Carisbrook flooded after record-breaking rains. More than 250 homes and farms were inundated, and almost 1,000 people had to be evacuated from the town from that flood. We are hoping to speak in a moment with Wayne McHale from the Ratepayers Association in the Central Coalfields Shire, who's organising a special event coming up this weekend. There has been a bit of discussion as well about building a levee in the town, which apparently has not happened yet. Wayne is with us now, I believe. Wayne, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jeremy. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Now, can you take us back 10 years and I guess give us a bit of a picture of what it was like at the time of this flooding?
Well, predominantly 10 years ago, we had something like 240 mils fall on Carisbrook over a very, very short period of time. So basically, it was the largest flooding of Carisbrook on record, and basically the whole town had to be sent out, and so they got rid of everyone. So it was just a complete and utter devastating thing, especially because in cases some people only had 10-15 minutes to pack up and move out, and it just happened that quickly.
Yeah, right, yeah. Look, I'm lucky enough to never have had to experience a flood, and I imagine the clean-up must be terrible. What's the process been like, I guess, of getting back and getting people back to the town?
Well, I would say on the initial clean-up and how it actually done, it was remarkably how well the community actually banded together, helped out. The assistance in the community work was fantastic. So they basically got Carisbrook as well back to normal in relatively, several days. But it's the mental healing, which is still ongoing, mainly because that levee's still 10 years down the track. They've done stage 1, stage 2. They've done not even half of stage 3. And stage 4 hasn't even been done. So every time we get a report of heavy rains, all those scars come back again.
Yeah. Just give us a bit more of the background to the levee, because I understand council did receive quite a lot of money and the levee was to have been built, but as you say, it still hasn't happened. What are some of the other things that have perhaps got in the way of that happening?
It's very, very difficult to be totally accurate with that for the simple reason documentation has not been put out. So we know exactly what's going on. So I can only go on what we've been told. Initially, there was a $31 million federal and state put out, and that was actually given for flood recovery. So that was for the whole Shire. So that $31 million was decided to do things not only in Carisbrook but Denali and things in Maryborough, supposedly for the recovery. So, and then after the councillors were sacked, they asked to do an acquittal on that, and the figures were questionable. So then, and at that stage, no levee had been built, right. No levee whatsoever. So in 2016, the council of the time organised, I believe, something around a $2.7 million grant and with that they built stage 1 levee, stage 2 levee, and they did a new addition to stage 3 levee, but it had actually nothing to do with the initial flow.
Right.
So basically the eastern side of the town has been protected from some of the riverine flooding, but it's mainly the overland flooding which comes from the western side of Carisbrook, which this western levee has to be done. But we're sitting there with $700,000, we believe, in a grant left over from that 2016 grant. And I think just last month they started doing Pleasant Street, which is about a quarter of the western levee. So they've done the area in the middle, but they haven't done anything on either end.
Right, I see. Look, I'm afraid we're going to run out of time, Wayne, but look, just very, very briefly, there is an event on Monday to mark the 10th anniversary. Just very quickly, what's happening on Monday?
What's happening on Monday is we're getting the community, we're getting the council, we're getting federal and state reps together, along with the utility companies, and we're going to try and just get everyone working together, everyone on the same page, and the goal is let's work forward and let's get this levee built.
Right, well, let's hope it does have some positive outcomes. Wayne, thanks for your time this morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeremy.
Thanks again, Wayne McHale there, who's from the Ratepayers Association in the Central Goldfields Shire. It's time for local news on breakfast. It is